It's true. Balde has been crushing it at Barcelona this season, and this video is going to be talking all about that. And I think it's been a little while since I've focused positively on a specific player at Barcelona, because I think I liked to do that when it was very difficult to. When we weren't hearing a lot of positive things about Barcelona players, I wanted to be the light in the darkness, especially last season. And so I wanted to tell good stories about the buildup of players, like I did on Rafinha before everyone was talking wildly on Rafinha. And it's Balde's turn right now. Earlier this summer, or way back last year, I made a video on Alejandro Balde potentially becoming like Alphonso Davies under Hansi Flick, becoming that important of a player under him. He's building into a similar profile, and not only that, but Hansi Flick is adapting to the way Balde plays and allowing Balde to thrive in spaces that he does succeed in. And we've needed to talk about it for a little while, because I think going into the season, and for a very good while of the season, he wasn't great at all. There was some time this season where he just did not look the best under Hansi Flick. We were saying, why not bring Hector Ford in? Who is this guy, Gerard Martin? He's also not good. We were calling for signings. In one of my videos recently, in Sensical Transfers, I said that we should try and sign a fullback to compete with Balde, and I still don't think that's a terrible idea. We've actually heard reports of Hansi Flick calling for a fullback that can play on both sides of the back line, potentially to compete with both Koundé and Balde, who have both been very solid this season, despite Koundé's, several decent big mistakes in the past match against Atletico. Balde has done an incredible job increasing his level throughout the season, where the likes of Koundé and Cubarsí and Pedri have all been kind of up here for the vast majority of matches, especially Pedri and Cubarsí, and probably Lamine Yamal as well, where Balde started at a much lower point, but has slowly increased his stock to a point where he's not the most elite fullback in the world, I'd argue, but he's getting to a very, very healthy and consistent level, especially for someone who has been criticized so much by a lot of people online, at times myself included. I think now this is something I see pointed out pretty often in my post-match interview. Now this is something that I see pointed out fairly often in my post-match videos, where I discuss that specifically the back line, it's harder to impress me for specifically Cubarsí and Balde, where I give them maybe less compliments than they probably deserve. Cubarsí deserves a video in and of himself. I think he's been great this season, but Balde specifically has really, really improved, and in a way that I don't think a lot of people are necessarily going to notice, because his main issue for a long time was his ability on the ball just not being that great. He doesn't put the best crosses in. He doesn't have the best ability to create space for himself to do so, and that still is kind of the case. He's not creating a ton more space this year than he was last year when he's attacking in the same way, and that's kind of going wide, right, taking his man to the byline and trying to check back up to the penalty spot or something like that, or put a cross in. But he's become significantly more important, most importantly to me, in possession and breaking into space and inverting, which is something that I think very few of us expected, since Rafinha, who is usually ahead of Balde, plays so inside. It leaves Balde very exposed, makes his job very difficult, and as a player who even last season was criticized when we had more of a winger in front of him, or Rafinha played more traditionally as a winger than he did this season, well, it made it difficult for Balde, except now Balde is being allowed to come inside. Despite maybe not having the most space there, Balde seems the most comfortable there, running between the defending fullback and maybe a midfielder, and finding spaces in that channel. It creates an incredible ability for this team to move forward with the ball. He is a bit of an outlet this season on the left side, when especially the left side hasn't been wildly threatening, but Hansi Flick has been adapting this, where I've actually seen Pedri play kind of like a left winger at times, especially when we win the ball back in our press. Very often, Pedri is pressing on the left side, either with Balde or Rafinha at times, or whoever's over there. When they win the ball back, Pedri fills that space, kind of like a winger, running behind the player and, putting a cross in or playing the ball in from there. But a lot of that is because of the support of Balde, because Rafinha most of the time is away from him, but Balde and Pedri are able to create a very healthy link up there that is leading to a pretty fruitful left side for Barcelona. And honestly, this is all big to see Balde stepping up again, or slowly bringing his level up because one, he's young. It's okay for him to slowly bring his level up again. He doesn't have to jump and be the best fullback in the world immediately. It's unrealistic to expect that, like we did with Davies kind of when he was under Hansi Flick at Bayern Munich. That kind of happened to Davies. Overnight became one of the most well-known fullbacks in the world, even though he had been popular in the United States and Canada before that. However, Balde is slowly increasing that form to a level where I'm going to become more and more comfortable with him being the starting, potentially only reliable fullback in the squad. Yes, I think Hansi Flick is right to be asking for a left back, a right back, combo as a signing for this summer. Do I think it's reasonable or feasible? Maybe, depending on who we end up looking for. There are a couple of decent options that can cover those spaces and that may be willing to come to Barcelona. But tactically speaking, Balde is becoming that player that I think a lot of us were unsure if he was going to become. All right, yeah, Balde has already matched his goal tally for his best season, the 22-23 season. Again, that first season or second season under Xavi where Barcelona won the league. He's already matched that across all competitions with 7 goals/assists, but it's 6 assists and 1 goal. And to see him doing that already, it is substantial, especially with this much time left for him to figure it out and play, especially considering how little support he had in that season where Barcelona won the league. He had either Dembele or Rafinha on the touchline in front of him. This season, no one's on the touchline in front of him. It's his own responsibility most of the time, except for those instances when we are pressing, and usually Pedri is over there and helps cross and do all those things on that side. It's substantial, and I'm really happy to see the way he grows and develops, but I must recognize his defensive ability that even in his poorest matches, he is really solid. I don't focus on this enough. I don't think I understand the defensive setups of teams well enough to really be critical of them or to give them the respect that they deserve after matches. That's part of the reason, again, I don't think I give Kubarsi all the attention that he necessarily deserves, especially because I'm very critical of him as well. It's easy to forget that he's only 17, right? But Balde has been incredibly consistently solid, and the past couple matches I've seen an influx of defensive saving tackles on the counter, where there have been times that he is so far forward, he doesn't really track back, or he's not in those positions to make saving tackles like we see from Kubarsi or Inigo Martinez or even Araujo at times. Balde has been doing it a little bit more, and I don't think it's that he's playing any deeper than he used to. I think it's that he's just tracking back. He's putting in a work level that I haven't really seen from him, or I haven't paid enough attention to until now, and he deserves the attention for that, putting him in the conversation as one of the best fullbacks in world football right now. Genuinely, he is putting himself in a conversation that he's undroppable and he can be a mainstay in this team. And because I don't think there is a ton of area to improve. Yes, he could put a better ball in. He's not Jordi Alba. He's not going to be able to connect with players in the same way just yet. But that is a skill that can be developed over time. And when you're at Barcelona, when you're surrounded by Pedri, Dani Olmo, Lamine Yamal, some of the best ball players in world football, you can figure it out. And he has been getting a lot better with it. And so has Koundé as well. Koundé has been making better passes into the box, crossing better, making better decisions when he gets into those threatening positions, which is good. Again, Koundé made those big mistakes on the weekend, or what was that, midweek, and he deserves some criticism for that. But Balde improving in such a great way that is going to help this team substantially, and I'm just really excited to see how it pans out. But thank you guys for watching. This will probably be my second to last video from Florida. I've been away. I went to the Inter Miami game. It was really cool. If you guys want to stay in touch with more of that, I post a lot of it on my Instagram story. So go follow me over there on Instagram. It's @BoblyLou. I'm also going to be starting to post shorts and TikToks because that's how you get clout and media passes to games nowadays. But thank you for watching, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Peace.